Let's start with this. Ana is going to be insane. Obviously, the ability to nade a Mauga is just so strong, and she's just really, really good right now. Nano's really, really good, and she fits into this meta really, really well. I would not recommend nerfing Ana. None of us want Ana nerfs, right? We all love Ana. So, okay. Let's see now. Ashe, I think, is pretty bad. I'm going to say B tier. Mauga just absolutely shits on Bob, and she's all right. I guess if you're running an Ashe with Mauga, he can crit people easier who are ignited, but it doesn't really matter that much. Bap, I'm going to say Bap is like B tier. I think he's good on the... No. I think Bap is really good. No, you know what? I think Bap is still S tier. I just don't think he's the best support into the meta right now. I think individually, he's still insanely strong. I just think that Ana Kiri are just better for now, anyway. Bastion, I actually think is bad. Bastion's going to be B tier at best, particularly because Mauga, like, actually that matchup favors the Mauga because Bastion's hitbox is so big. You can ignite him and treat him like a second tank. You guys will figure out this whole meta kind of revolves around Mauga, and what you pick into him matters, and you'll start to see a common theme here. Brigitte, I think, is A tier strictly because she'd be S tier, but I think Mauga just dumpsters her, and I think right behind Mauga when he gets nerfed is Ramakshra, another hero she's not great into. But the second it becomes Monkey or Ball or something, she's really good. I think individually on her own, she's an S tier character for sure. I think specifically though, Mauga, you have to pick the heroes that are good into Mauga right now in order to get value, which is just the common theme. Cass, I think, is bad, B tier at best, C tier maybe. Doom, I think, is bad, B tier at best. Like, Mauga absolutely hard counters Doomfist. I want to rank Doomfist lower than that, but the only reason I don't is because not everyone has the battle pass, so not everyone has Mauga, so they can't just press a button to beat Doomfist. Diva, I'm honestly going to put Diva in A tier, and here's why. I think she's always kind of been A tier, and I think she's one of the better tanks into Mauga because she can DM him. I don't think she's that good, though. I almost want to put her in B tier. I just think Diva's a solid pick. There's just not many people who play her. So I'll put her in A tier. I think she's, particularly on specific maps, she can be really, really, really good with high ground. So yeah, okay, either way. Echo, I think, is A tier. Echo Mauga copy is really, really good right now. Dive is really, really good. You can play Echo pretty much anywhere, so I think Echo is A tier. And I'm also going to put Genji in A tier. As long as they don't play like a super, like, AIDS Brawl comp, I think a dive comp with Genji, particularly because he can deflect Mauga, might be decent. Even though I think he should probably be B tier. Now that I look at it, I think he's mid. I don't think he's A tier. I think he's mid. I like the idea of deflecting in the Mauga mirror. It can be very helpful. Hanzo's B tier as well. You can use dragons into Mauga ult to get kills, sure. Might be the only time Dragon Strike gets anything in this game, so I guess Hanzo B tier. Lari also B tier. She just doesn't fit into what's good right now. On the Sig maps, maybe, but I think in particular the Zen changes and the buffs to Zenyatta have made Zenyatta a better option than Lari. Queen, I think Queen's A tier. I think Queen's one of the best heroes to pick into Mauga in general. She's got a skinny hitbox. She's hard to ignite, which makes it harder for Mauga to build his self-sustain and shields, which is something you're going to notice. So because of that skinny hitbox, her shout, her self-heal as well, she's one of the few tanks that actually has any chance at all of standing up to Mauga directly in the one-on-one, even though she does lose it. Mauga does out 1v1 every tank. Jay Silly, B tier. Not even going to explain it. He's just Jay Sill. Kiriko, S tier. I mean, no surprise, guys. Kiri's just the best, one of the best heroes in the game. She's been one of the best heroes in the game this entire time, and I find it atrocious that the community has found a way to have a negative win rate with this character when she is as good as she is. But Kiri's insane. No surprise there. Lucio, I think Lucio's A tier. I think there's some Mauga comps that can be run with Lucio. I don't think he's... I think... At the skill floor, it's easier to just play Onakiri and dump things in. It's almost foolproof. It's almost double shield. But Lucio's still pretty good. Weaver, I think... You know, I actually don't mind having Weaver in the Mauga matchup because Life Grip is one of the few things that can answer Cage Fight. I'm going to put Weaver in A tier only because of the Mauga mirror. Just because Grip is a free get out of jail free card. That's the only reason. Tree is not good into Mauga because it just gets ripped apart instantly. But if you use it in the ult dump, it might actually be a really, really high value tree. So I think Weaver specifically in ranked in the Mauga mirror, it's just so easy to life grip somebody out of the cage fight that it's kind of the only answer to the meta right now. Is it's one of those characters. Mauga S tier, I mean, no surprise. He's the best tank in the game. He wins every single 1v1 against every single tank. And it's not close, right? He wins every 1v1. There are some situations where he might not get played, like Sigma can zone him off well on the right map, or Queen Rush on some points, you know, depending on your team and your supports. The only way you lose as Mauga to another tank is if your support comp is bad and it's the wrong map. Mei, I'm putting in A tier. I think Mei is pretty good. I think Blizzard in cage fight is good. It's one of the few answers to Mauga that you can have. So I think Blizzard is particularly really, really strong into that. Mercy! People are going to be sad about this. Mercy is probably the single worst hero in a Mauga mirror. Now, if you were to play some kind of flyer with it, it could be good. But right now, Mercy was able to get played in poke a lot because she could still heal her tank. But right now, Mercy is absolutely useless in the heal duel. Absolutely useless. She's so bad. So the only way you can play Mercy is if you have a flyer and your Mauga. You cannot have a Mauga mirror. You cannot. Right? So Mercy is D tier until the Mauga mirror becomes not hard meta. And then she could jump back up to probably A or B tier. But because the Mauga mirror is so, like, dump everything into the Mauga, both supports, Mercy just can't compete with any of the heroes up here at that. She's great at pocketing DPS on off angles, but this meta is just dump into the tank. Moira's B tier. You have to have a Kiri, but if you get a Kiri, you can get value. Build that coal quick. Orisa, B tier. She gets hard countered by Mauga. Pharah, B tier. Kind of gets forced out by the Mauga, but the barrage is good into him. So Pharah is B tier. I just don't think she's as good as Echo. Ramattra, here's my hot take, chat. Ramattra is also an S tier character post his buffs, but because he loses to Mauga, he's worse. I think when Mauga gets nerfed, Ramattra is going to be really, really good again. His ult, he got some good changes to his poke ability and his armor, as well as his Nem form cooldown. So don't sleep on Ramattra. I think he's good. Reaper, I think, is mid at best. Rhine is garbage into him. I think Rhine is C tier because Mauga forces him out. Hog is absolutely D tier, dude. Mauga destroys Hog. Destroys Hog. Hog got the Mercy treatment. Sigma, I still think is S tier. I think Sigma is really, really good, and he'd if Mauga was not in the game, he'd alternate his position with Ramattra. Sojourn is insanely good. She's got a very skinny hitbox, which makes it hard for Mauga to actually ignite her, and she can output a ton of damage with her rail because Mauga has no shield, so she's constantly farming the rail, and she can't get hit easily by him. Soldier is just a worse version of Sojourn. I think he's B tier. Sombra, I think I'm going to put Sombra in A tier. I think Sombra into Mauga is very good. He has trouble igniting her because she's very slippery. She's very shaky, right? And EMP deletes cage fight. It's one of the few absolute counters to cage fight, which can be really, really important because you can't counter that ult right now. Symmetra, I think, is B tier at best. I don't think she's that good. Torbjorn, I think, is B tier as well. Core is good against cage fight because you can Molten Core it. You can Molten Core into it. You can break it quickly. The only problem is it's very easy for the Mauga to ignite him like Bastion because he's got that big hitbox, right? So Sojourn is just better in my opinion. Tracer, I'm going to put Tracer in S tier. She absolutely was S tier until Mauga came into the game, and now it's kind of changed things around a little bit. But the second Mauga gets nerfed, I think Tracer is going to be insane. Widow, B tier as per usual. Monkey, I gotta put Monkey in B tier. I don't think his buffs did anything for him, and because Mauga and Ramattra are just better, I just don't. I think Monkey's good. Maybe I put him in A tier. I'll put him in A tier, but he'll be in A tier when Mauga gets tuned down properly. The same for Ball. I think Ball will be A tier. Well, I think Ball Tracer comps could be good. I think Ball is a little bit behind Monkey. Zarya, I'll put in A tier as well. I think she's got some good situations, and then Zenyatta. I think Zen's really good. I'm going to put Zen in A tier, but I think he's actually really, really good. But that's going to be my tier list for right now with Mauga. This is kind of how it's been shaped. You only have 2 DPS in there, and that's only at high level play. I still think Sojo's pretty bad in ranked, but the key heroes to look out for post this mid-season patch when Mauga gets tuned down, look for Ramattra, look for Winston, look for Somber Tracer. They've kind of been creeping up big time. So, and Mercy will make a big jump back up. But yeah, okay, that's my tier list for Season 8. Now we know. Hope you guys learned something. This is what I think it's going to be. And then, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out to the YouTube crowd. Okay.